This week, we're discussing a new partnership and direction for Xbox and an update to PlayStation's live service attempts. This is the Good Game, Bad Game podcast. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Good Game, Bad Game podcast. I'm your host, Spencer, and with me is a man who demands to see the contract between Kojima and the devil, because how is it possible for a game to visually look this good? It's my co-host, Mike. Mike, any progress?
We're getting there. Our agents are talking. They're playing hardball. You know, we can only bend so much.
Right. It's been really funny watching people say that Kojima really did just make the first PS5 game. And somebody did a comparison of like what Norman Reedus looked like in a PS3 game, a PS4 game, and a PS5 game, like all side by side. I think it was Paul Tassi who was like, "Oh, I love that we can mark generations and like graphical improvements off of Norman Reedus."
What game was he on in PS3?
I would have to imagine it was like a Walking Dead game.
Oh, yeah, that could be.
Like not the Telltale one.
Yeah, okay. I think you might be right. I think they just a truck going only on the rumble strips past my house. Yeah, I think there was specifically a Daryl game, and I think it was dog shit.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I was like, in my head, I'm like, did they do a Reservoir Dogs game? They did Sleeping Dogs.
Yeah,
it's close enough, I guess.
Yeah, Sleepy Dogs. Yeah,
it's got dogs in the name.
Yeah. Also, quick for the listeners, this episode's coming out probably a little late, and will probably be a little short because Mike is attempting to not die from heat exhaustion.
It's that time of year.
It's that time of year.
2 months early. So I can't wait to see what August is like.
Takes me back to that one when I was still up in Boston and we did a record, and I think we were saying how like after we were finally done, we were just basically in an oven of a room, and I remember just being drenched in sweat. And I'm not, I'm not normally a real sweaty guy, but yeah, I was cooking. And I know your laptop, I think, just died.
Shut off.
Yeah,
just shut off mid-record.
It said, if you won't kill me, I'll do it myself.
Yeah. Yep. Kind of did me a favor in the end.
So yeah, what a time. But with that, let's keep the ball rolling here. Tell me about what games you've been playing.
So we were talking about Death Stranding, and funny enough, like this launch has completely eluded me. I was actually in Pennsylvania a couple of weekends ago, and my brother and I were walking past a Hamilton watch store, and they had there's a Death Stranding Hamilton watch you could buy.
Oh.
And my brother and I were both like, isn't it a little too early to like have that kind of partnership? And he asked me when the game came out. I was like, I've got no fucking idea. And then, so like this past weekend, I had some time to play some games, which you're gonna love to hear the result of that. And I saw that we're like 3 days away from Death Stranding launching. I said, "Oh shit!
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's soon." And part of me was like, "Do I even attempt?" Because I still haven't played Death Stranding.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "Do I even attempt to just burn through it this weekend so I can play it?"
I don't know if Death Stranding is a game you can just quote unquote burn through.
No, I don't think it is. And so that leads me to my next point. And even if I were successful in that,
yeah,
I don't think I'd want to play Death Stranding 2 right away.
Right.
So in the backlog it goes.
Yep, of course.
If somebody would have picked Death Stranding for me for this quarter.
Oh, do you think that would have gone better for you?
Maybe that combined with knowing that Death Stranding 2 are coming out, I could
Maybe,
be
yeah, that's
optimistic.
true. It would have given you like a
Yeah,
slight little kick in the ass.
yeah, big fucking maybe.
Huge, the biggest.
Oh
Uh,
man. So yeah, didn't play Death Stranding. Didn't play Death Stranding 2. Didn't play Super Mario Sunshine in case you were curious.
I figured we would
Um,
get there.
yeah. Did play Ghost of Tsushima.
Nice.
Yeah. That game is a real pain in the dick
Oh.
when you've got so many other games that you need to play. Like,
Hmm.
I want to play Super Mario Sunshine. Though I did just see a video about how Nintendo wishes they didn't make it so hard, and I said, well, that's fucking great. That's exactly what I want right now. A hard Mario game, not something I can just blow through.
You just keep pushing it off. You're like, oh
Yeah.
no.
And it's bringing back some trauma because Super Mario Sunshine is one of those games that I've attempted to start many times.
Hmm.
And, I'm starting to remember why maybe I didn't get through it.
For what it's worth, uh, keep in mind that I did play and beat it by like the most minimal standards, right? Like I wasn't going for 100% or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I like recently played through it and got to the end screen, whenever that collection was released, the 64 Sunshine Galaxy one for the Switch.
Mhm.
So for whatever it's worth, I was able to do it. And I'm not particularly great at those games. So overall, like
I
to
don't know that that's
100%
giving me
it
any.
is not giving you confidence.
No, I think I have more confidence in your game playing ability than I do mine.
I guess I'm just trying to drive at that, like, maybe to 100% it, it's hard, but I don't actually think, I don't really remember beating my head against the wall.
Gotcha.
Shelby might be shaking her head vigorously behind me because she remembers me getting pissed off at it, but I don't remember that if that were the case.
So what you're telling me is I should use my knockoff GameCube controller
Maybe, I don't know. I guess
just in
yeah, because I
case.
was using a Switch Pro controller technically to play it.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm playing it on GameCube. So,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
So
maybe
that
I
that
will
could
use my.
also that could also be a factor. I don't know how much quality of life enhancements there were. I thought it was pretty much just a straight port, but you know how things
That
go.
was my understanding. Yeah, straight port, and next thing you know, they've got like a brand new Metroid game.
It's just a remaster. What?
Mhm.
Are you sure?
Yeah, that's all it is.
Sorry, that was an interjection. You were
Mm.
you were saying
No, no,
something
no, that's
else.
fine. Yeah, no. So I played Ghost of Tsushima.
Hmm.
I don't know what I was going to interject with the Super Mario Sunshine thing, but that's fine. Probably something about how much Luigi's Mansion pissed me off
I think you were saying that
and
there are
how
like
un.
other games you want to play, and Ghost of Tsushima is like getting in the way.
Oh yeah, yeah. So like I'm just trying to basically get through main story, and then I figure once I get through main story, then I'll go through and clean up like the side missions and stuff.
Yeah.
But boy, am I a fucking sucker for whenever a fox crosses my screen or a golden bird flies in front of me or someone runs down the road and needs help. Or if I just find a village that I want.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's not a whole lot of just going from point to point,
Yeah.
which is great. Great gameplay.
Yeah.
But just trying to get through it.
I'm the same way though with stuff like that. Uh when you tell yourself you're just gonna like play through the missions, but then those sorts of like collectible or random encounter things like kind of come up and you're like, am I gonna be able to find this again? Or should I just take care of it while I'm here?
Yeah.
Like, and that is always like the Sophie's choice I have to make.
Yeah. I don't get that reference.
Basically, I'm just trying to figure out which kid to kill.
Oh, is that what that is?
So anyway, any other games you should play?
Yes, kind of a one out of right field.
Can I guess?
Sure.
The Division 2.
Yeah, probably because you saw it on my
I
PlayStation
did.
profile,
I did.
huh? Okay, turning off my status as soon as we're done with this call.
I was like, oh, Mike's on. What's he up to? The Division 2.
No, they just came out with content for it, like at the end of May.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's
we talked
crazy.
about this.
Did we?
We talked about this. Yeah, we did. Um, so I was like, oh, I'm gonna jump back in and see like what's going on. And they've added like a bunch just to like base game too. And it's kind of cool because a lot of it is like what do they call it? Like offsite. They're like offsite missions, so they're
Mm-hmm.
basically like mini maps. They've added a ton. Like I'm kind of blown away. So yeah, I've been playing quite a bit of that and just remembering how amazing that game is. So
Yeah,
much fun.
the Division and that first Ghost Recon game,
Mm-hmm.
like pretty peak. And yeah, games like the Division 2 are like fun to jump back into and just like dick around and do like a side quest. And because it's like I guess I wouldn't really call it necessarily live service, but it like has like daily quests or like monthly quests and like goals and stuff like that typically to work towards, right? So games that have stuff like that are always like, kind of satisfying because you can always have something to do when you
Yeah.
inevitably choose to go back to them, which is nice. But it's not stuff that you like have to do that you feel like it's become a chore. Maybe at the beginning of the life cycle, but yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I found that I was just kind of able to jump in and like work on some of the new missions. And then like it kind of comes back to me like all the side stuff you can do, like supplies and
Yeah,
um I'm starting to remember like when I loot something, like the stuff that I like need to keep versus can just get rid of.
yeah.
Um yeah, it's been a ton of fun. And um they've added like a little bit of comical shit into it too. Like I looted a sniper off of somebody and you know how I typically snipe in that game. Like I do a sniper and then like either a submachine gun or an assault rifle is my secondary.
Yep.
So the sniper is like it's 6 shots, it's bolt action. And it's called Oh Carol. And it's got like Christmas decor on it. Like the tip of it lights up in red.
Uh-huh.
And if you get a headshot, fireworks just go off on the person.
That's pretty
And
good.
I'm quite enjoying that.
Yeah. That is that's pretty good. I like that.
Just one of those silly little things.
Yeah, nice little
Um,
nice little
yeah. So
I can't think of anything.
I coughed, so I assumed you said something when I coughed. I didn't actually
I
hear
did,
anything.
yeah. Yep.
Yep. I bet it was really funny too.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
Yeah, so the Division 2, great game. Having a lot
Nice.
of fun.
Nice. Not
Apparently
Super Mario
the
Sunshine.
new nope. No. Yeah, that's just gonna be honest about that one for a second. I don't know that it's happening. I think about the games that like I want to play and my prioritization.
hmm
And now that like I have Super Mario Sunshine on my lap, I'm like, I don't know that I actually give a shit about playing this game.
hmm hmm
We'll see. Maybe I'll get some. I don't know.
Yeah,
I just
maybe you will.
I it's it's hard because I'm like this past weekend I had plenty of time to play it. So the fact that I haven't played it is completely on me. And I literally like I was thinking about what I was gonna do with my night because I had the whole night to myself. I was like, oh, I should play Super Mario Sunshine. I was like, but I want to play Ghost of Tsushima.
hmm
And at this point in my life, I kind of just need to play the games I want to play
Yeah.
because that's just such a rarity.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I hear you. I feel like it's one of those games though, where I'm guessing this is what happened with you with Luigi's Mansion, because it certainly did for me. As soon as you do like finally start it, very easy to just kind of like keep going. It's just always that like bump of getting over like the start of a new game.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, it goes that way for me for like any game, you know. There's nothing worse than getting through like an epic, you know, 20 to 40 to even, 100-hour, game that you sink all that time into, but you come to whatever the, conclusion is. And then it's like, okay, time to try and start something else. And it's just nothing will like hit the peak of like what you just wrapped up. So
Mm-hmm.
that's always tough.
I've kind of felt that way since I beat Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Like that game, and that game I struggled to start with,
Yep.
but God, that game was just so good.
But like,
And I'm like starting to
go ahead.
feel that way with Ghost of Tsushima, but
Right. Well, that's what I was gonna say. Like, you're in the middle of Ghost of Tsushima, so you're at least somewhat comfortable with it and everything like that. So it's very, of all the games I'm sure you have, it's one of the easier ones to kind of just like pick up and keep going. But yeah, it's
what, Ghost of
tricky.
Tsushima or
Yeah. Ghost of Tsushima.
yeah. And
Wow.
it's just kind of hitting everything I want in a game right now. Like the combat's good,
Yep.
but it's also kind of difficult. So like that's something that like I'm trying to get better at too. And the exploration is great.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a gorgeous looking game.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
checks all those boxes.
it is peak for sure. Well, I can update that I have played more Red Dead Redemption finally.
Yeah.
Yep. I have a little list up. It's 57 total missions in the game. So I'm trying to like pace myself enough, so that I can hopefully have it done for the end of July. Yeah, it's a good game. It's remarkable like playing it and thinking about anytime I've played it now, all I can think about is Red Dead Redemption 2 and how amazing that game is.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just remarkable to think about like how much of a jump they made from Red Dead to Red Dead 2. Yeah, it's just crazy. It's crazy like how expansive Red Dead Redemption 2 is and how Red Dead 1 doesn't necessarily feel like tiny in comparison. Like it feels like they're doing a lot, especially for a PS3 game, but it's just like holy shit. Like it's wild. It really is. But it's a lot of fun. It's yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I was a little worried about trying to go back and play like a PS3 game because I remember trying to do it right around after the PS4 came out and had trouble doing it then, but I don't know if it's just because I play other old games now too that helps make it easier, but yeah. And then we've been trucking through Breath of Fire 2. Finally got a new power cord, so Shelby and I will be able to jump back into Ocarina.
Nice.
Yeah. And a one sneaky update for you is we're recording this on Thursday. Tomorrow, Friday, I will have a Switch 2.
Well, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Where are you getting it from?
I am getting it from Best Buy.
Nice.
Got it through an online restock, and let me tell you, those streets are way different than 5 years ago,
Oh yeah.
and a lot better. They did a restock at like noon, and it was the Mario Kart bundle one, and I'm a, physical game truther. So I was like, I don't really want to get the Mario Kart bundle. Kind of want to get just the console and I'll buy the game physically. Um, and like an hour and a half went by and I checked again to see if like they happened to have put just the regular console back in stock, and they hadn't. It was just the bundle. And I was like, well, this is just the better money move at this point. Like I could either buy the console for $450 and then buy Mario Kart for $80, or I could buy the bundle for 500,
Mm-hmm.
like, and save, $30, and then somewhere down the road, if I'm like really that crazy about it, I can buy, the physical game. The unfortunate truth is that physical games are probably going by the wayside anyway, so not a ton of reason, I guess, to technically do it. But anyway, an hour and a half
Yeah,
after they did the restock, they still had,
still available.
yeah. And so I was like, well, add it to my cart, purchase, pick it up on Friday.
Yeah, you get in a situation like that, it's not like dissimilar to my situation where, like, in terms of philosophy at least, like, oh, if they happen to have it, might as well get it.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was like one of those things where it's like, I knew I was going to be able to check at noon when, the restock was supposed to happen and everything. And so I did. Saw it was just a Mario Kart bundle and literally like effectively walked away and, was doing work and stuff like that. And then happened to check again. And I was just like, yeah, whatever, I'll do it. Um, I don't know if I would have been able to get lucky with like a out in the wild one like I was originally going for, just because I don't know if because of like being in just like a more like densely populated area, if that was gonna like go against me, and I didn't know like the next time I was gonna kind of be in like a outskirts sort of like Target or Walmart or something like that. So nonetheless, I just bit the bullet. So I'm excited to play Mario Kart World. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, I'm excited to be able to join you in the like first uh thoughts, review, everything like that next week.
That what we're doing?
Yeah, we talked about doing it first week of July, I thought,
Nice.
because
Yeah,
you'll
I'm
have
pretty.
had it for roughly a month. I'll have had it for a week. Maybe we'll push it an additional week if I don't get
I
quite enough time.
Yeah, that's fine. Um, I don't remember if I think I played this would have been before the last time we recorded, but I completely forgot. Soul Calibur 2
Mm-hmm.
is on the GameCube emulator
Mm-hmm.
collection, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
You want to talk about a game that holds up?
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's just as fun as I remember.
I believe it.
I'm like, and of course, one of those things where like I'm sure I sold that for $2 at
Oh,
GameStop years and years and years ago. Um, but oh man, if I would have had that game on the GameCube all these years, I would have been playing the hell out of it. It's so
yeah.
much fun.
Yeah, I'm excited to I mean, I know there's really only one like marquee game, at least for me, on the Switch right now, which is like kind of one of the main reasons why I wasn't like in a super rush to get it. But obviously, I know there's going to be more games in only a matter of time. So, yeah. But I'm really excited to have like the GameCube and probably play some more of the other collections that they have, like the Game Boy, and
Mm.
jump into those. So, yeah, looking forward to it. But all right, let's get into the actual news, the real news, the hard hitting news, the news that the people care about. Like a little update on PlayStation's, you know, attempt at live service. Obviously, we know that Marathon is fast approaching. Um, really, their next big attempt post Concord. They did a I guess that was a beta for people to jump into and try it out and everything like that. Game seemed rather bare bones for what I could tell at least, but obviously I'm not like a big extraction shooter fan, and yeah, I'm sure it'll have an audience, but I question how big and if that audience will be big enough. But they took a lot of the feedback and stuff, and the game got delayed indefinitely.
Probably a good move.
Yeah, probably a good move. Just what a mess, though. What a mess this whole PlayStation Live service.
Remember when we wanted 24 live service games?
I don't remember ever wanting that. No.
Listen, we never said they were going to be good live service games. And we never said they were going to last more than a month. Well, we just said you were going to get them.
Yeah. Yeah. You're going to get them and you're going to like
Jim
it.
Ryan, nevermore.
Crazy. Just absolutely crazy. Yeah. It just sucks because it's like what a waste of time and resources and everything like that, I mean, I know we're not the business decision makers and everything like that, and so
Maybe we should be.
maybe. And I'm not trying to say that like there's an obvious way to have used these people's talents on something else, right? Like,
Build something that's not live service. Come on, this isn't that hard.
Yeah. I don't know.
Destiny 3.
It's
Give people what they want.
Yeah. It's yeah, it sucks. It really sucks to watch them flounder. And I question, like what is going to make it? What is going to see the light of day out of, all of these projects? And again, it's just like on one hand, I want them to just like cut the cord now, but at the same time, it's just thinking about all that, again, just all that time, money, resources wasted that could have been put into so many other great things that people specifically do want, like you said. Yeah, it's just really frustrating.
I think that obviously delaying this is a good decision. And I hope with that, they are kind of more transparent. Like, I hope they don't try to hold this all back until launch day and like try to be a surprise launch. I hope they just say, okay, we're going to delay this, but we're going to do like a ton more public betas.
Yeah.
And just, get that data, get that feedback, and, actually see if it's something that people want to play. But then, like, I guess the hard balance is, these things typically have such a short lifespan in terms of customer attention, before they go back to Warzone or Fortnite or whatever.
Right.
I know they're not 100% the same, but, so balancing how much you give people and still saving some for after launch.
Yeah.
Or Bungie could just take over the Uncharted IP.
And
which Naughty Dog said they'd be comfortable with.
And make a great
Naughty Dog traction shooter,
Yeah.
Honestly, okay, let's talk this out. An Uncharted extraction shooter kind of makes sense. Like, you go in, get your gold, get your sacred monuments, torch the temple, and leave.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I hear you.
Incursion simulator, or something like that.
Yeah. What if though, instead of that, we got a single player, story driven game, that
I'm gonna stop you right there. It's a no for me.
It'll be interesting to see where this goes. They didn't give any sort of like new timeline update. They literally just said that they are no longer going to release the game. on September 23rd. They're going to keep doing testing. It was an alpha test, not a beta test earlier. So just wanted to clarify that. Basically, they said they're going to keep doing closed testing, including people who did the alpha. I'm assuming they'll do more public tests, to your point, as well, before this thing officially sees any sort of like new release date and stuff like that. But yeah, it's gonna be really interesting to see what this ends up, changing to actually draw more people in. But what a tough arena to try and like throw your hat into right now. Wild.
Yeah,
All right. Well, speaking of throwing hats in other arenas, is that a good segue?
sure.
Xbox announced a uh what, like a strategic partnership, I guess, with AMD, which basically is Xbox is going to work with AMD for, I guess, the entire next generation of the Xbox ecosystem. Is that like kind of the best way to put it? Console, handheld, everything like that.
Smart fridge, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very open ended. It's not like they just said like the next like they really did say like the next generation. So it's like really all facets of wherever Xbox is trying to be or trying to do. AMD is going to, I guess, be kind of in lockstep along the way.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I don't see that really ever changing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, until we get full-fledged PCs under our TVs instead of consoles. Um, we've had generation after generation of games that are built primarily for AMD APUs, GPUs. So like if they were to switch to NVIDIA or something, like they probably wouldn't, they'd have to do a lot of work to make their catalog backwards compatible.
Yeah.
Um, so this kind of feels like a no-brainer. Um, and yeah, I mean, I guess Microsoft needs to stay that vague now. Um, we know that the Xbox ROG Ally is going to have AMD.
Yep.
I'm certain that any other partner handheld to compete with this or complement this or however you want to look at it, I'm certain they will all need AMD processors just so again they can run the catalog.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and then cloud gaming, it's all going to be AMD server blades. So makes sense. It's funny. I messaged you before we started recording that I was fine talking about this because I said I guess I need to eat crow about Xbox not making more hardware. My prediction that I made a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
I still don't know that I'm going to though.
Yeah. I think it's technically too early to tell.
Well, like when this came out, and I saw it. Funny enough, I think on LinkedIn on Sarah Bond's profile that Xbox was doing this partnership with AMD. My first thought was, oh, I guess they are going to make more generations of first party hardware. And I kind of marinated on it for a while, and I really just I read this announcement as the ecosystem is going to use AMD.
Mm-hmm.
And I still think there is a universe in which Xbox doesn't make another console, but they're going to make the framework for how, in air quotes, Xboxes should be made by
Yeah.
their partners. So Asus makes more hardware, Dell makes more hardware, Lenovo, whatever. There's going to be a framework for what the console should look and play and do.
Yeah. I mean, this goes back to when we first started kind of discussing the possibility of them not doing another, um, piece of genuine Xbox hardware. A large portion of that is because of the handheld that they're making and the fact that, or for me at least, the fact that you can put any store on there. So, right, like you're going to be able to put Steam, Epic, good old games. You're going to be able to have all those different storefronts and also have, the best value in gaming in Xbox Game
Mhm.
Pass on there, right? Um, so even if they were to make, every new console generation, it feels like we're constantly waffling on like, oh, are we gonna get another console, or are we just gonna completely move to PCs and stuff like that? And like at the end of the day, every single console is effectively in its own way a PC. But if Xbox makes a new one, this will be the most PC console because from what I could tell with the Sarah Bond announcement, it kind of continued that not locked to a single store, not locked to a single device approach that they're going for. And to me, that would scream like they would take this different storefronts on the handheld approach and put that in tandem with their next, if they were to release it, console, that is in essence the successor to the Series X. But again, it would basically, it would actually truly be like having a PC for the first time as you're hooked up to a TV, air quotes, console.
Mhm.
Again, just like, again, we do this every generation almost, where it's like the line continues to get blurred more and more. But you look at like every single PlayStation, right? And like they are very much a PlayStation. Like, I don't know how to try and say that any differently. But Xbox is getting closer and closer to this like open, you may not be able to put a word processor on it just yet, but otherwise,
Yeah,
um,
it'll. I think it'll be still kind of a closed ecosystem. I mean, it is. I mean, as it is right now, the Xbox operating system is just reskinned Windows. It
right,
always has been.
right.
Um, yeah, no, I don't think you're going to, like you said, put like PC apps on. Like, I don't think they're going to put Microsoft Teams on it. I don't think that's the point. I think they're going to focus on optimization, which they've already kind of proven they're focused on with the Series S, um, and how important that is, and
Yeah.
then the ecosystem. I mean, Xbox really is just going to be a non-living, breathing platform. It's just going to be okay. We provide the operating system, uh, and the integration between Steam, GOG, like you said, and
hmm
all these other platforms. Um, and like I think that's okay.
I mean, I
We
think
know
it's
that
great.
Nintendo is going to be making consoles forever,
Yeah.
and we know that PlayStation's at least making a PS6. They've already said that.
I mean, I think they are. I think PlayStation is just going to keep doing the same thing too. And the thing that's going to set Xbox aside is the fact that, like, yeah, it's still just a device. It's still just a device or a piece of hardware that is solely dedicated to gaming. But you
Mhm.
have the most expansive library across as many devices as you can think of outside of a Nintendo or PlayStation device.
Right.
And even
And I'm kind of
then, sorry to cut you off, but even
no,
then,
go ahead.
if PlayStation continues to do these PC releases and Xbox finds a way to get Steam onto their next Xbox branded console, you are going to be able to play PlayStation games on an Xbox.
Right. And I don't think there's a whole lot that PlayStation can do about that other than take their games off of Steam.
Right, and that would be dumb
Yeah.
because they're already doing the whole wait a year to year and a half to 2 years to 5 years to whatever before they actually put their games on PC anyway. So it'd be dumb to
I do
just
kind
completely
of
cut that off.
I do kind of wonder if they could hardware lock it though. Like you launch a PlayStation game and it, can tell what combination of processor, RAM, frankly, even motherboard you have, and they'd be like, nope, this is an Xbox.
That would be so petty, and it would piss me off to no end. But they would be the ones to try and do that.
Very well could happen.
Yeah.
Um. Yeah, I don't know. It's growing on me. Like I hate the idea of a company not making consoles anymore, but that's just because I'm an old head and
Sure.
you know, it is what it is. But also, like this week, we got more Xbox hardware, kind of out of the blue, with Meta made
Yeah.
an Xbox branded headset,
Yeah.
and I think it's kind of cool looking. And like it came with Xbox branded hardware, like it came with uh its own Xbox controller, unique Xbox controller, like the whatever you call them, the VR controllers. They're kind of follow the same scheme. Like it's kind of cool, and looking at it, you can't tell it's not an Xbox.
Right. Yeah. I'm a fan of this overall approach. I'm with you. I also personally, I don't know if it's laziness or just an unwillingness to change. I also am like a big fan of just give me a console and it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'll march on. Um, but I think it's a really savvy approach on Xbox's
Yeah.
part to probably if anything really convince PC people to be like, oh, this is kind of an easy route for me, and I still have access to everything. I think that's the biggest reason why I think people get stuck in whatever ecosystem it is, right? Like if you've always been in PlayStation, it can be difficult to like go somewhere else because you lose your entire catalog or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Xbox is literally saying like, sans PlayStation and Nintendo, like your everything is available to you because PC has been the most vast to begin with, because you have access to all of those different storefronts. Um, and they're all tied to, you can put them all onto your one device and everything like that. Um, so yeah, I'm a fan of it. I think it's a smart move for them, and it'll be interesting to just see just like how they end up executing on it.
I'm excited that if they do bring Steam on, just the amount of like indie games that I'll have access to,
Yeah,
because we watch some of these indie festivals and all the cool games that are coming out, but of course to start they're only ever PC, and that makes sense.
mm-hmm.
It makes a ton of sense. But to be able to open that up, and it's good for the indie developers too, because I mean you're going to have a lot more people that can buy their games. So I
Yeah.
think collectively, it's a good platform. It's a good move for gaming.
It not only
And
indies, just games that release in early access.
yeah,
Because as like a way of like, this game is not complete, but we need that like cash injection to keep going, sort of thing. So you see a lot of these games that really blow up in early access and then get to some sort of like final state, and then even takes even longer, like a year or two, to finally get to uh the actual console release. So having access to all of those things, you think about all the different games that get released like that you want to touch and play and all that you'd have
yeah.
access to.
And again, this goes back to things we've talked about in the past too. Like PC gaming is great. You get a lot of options. You can choose whatever hardware you want, even though like it's the illusion of choice. There's still only really two platforms,
Yeah.
and then just different hardware manufacturers. But I mean, that's similar to what I think we're going to see with Xbox. It's the same platform.
Yep.
You can choose, what flavor of hardware you like, and it brings in some competition. So maybe we're not stuck spending $500 on a console for a generation because it's going to be up to the manufacturer.
Yeah.
Um, Again, there's going to be standards, so I think the deviation is going to be rather small. But um, yeah, no, I think it'll be interesting, and I think it'll be a good variety for gaming. And I just realized I completely forgot my point to this, so I was kind of rambling. But my point was, we know how great and dynamic PC gaming is,
Mm-hmm.
but it's a lot of maintenance.
Mm-hmm.
And for people who just want to be able to sit on the couch, turn their console on, it boots up. You just have to worry about an update every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have to worry about drivers. Don't have to worry about something just randomly disconnecting and having to have to go into device manager. Like, I do believe all of that will be optimized and kind of abstracted, and you won't even have to think about it. So
Right.
despite it being more like a PC under your TV, you're not going to have that level of maintenance.
Right, which I think is like the big driver for anybody who has, maintained sticking with consoles and stuff. It's just like it's not worth the energy. Uh and again, that's purely subjective, but like it's not worth the energy to have to like deal with all that stuff. And for the people who are like really into it and love it, it is worth the energy. And that's why they'll stick to PC because they are fine with, constantly staying on top of like upgrading it and making it better at their own pace and everything like that, which I totally get and can see the appeal of that. So,
Yeah. I've always loved the idea of that.
yeah,
But then I just think about the practicality in my life and it doesn't make sense anymore. Maybe
100%.
15, 20 years ago it would have, but
So, yeah, I'm excited to see where this continues to go. Loved the approach when they kind of started announcing this with the ROG Ally. And yeah, really looking forward to see what's next
yeah.
from Xbox. All right. Well, I think that does it then.
Alrighty.
So as always, thank you all so much for listening. If you could do us a favor and leave us a rating or review wherever you do listen to the podcast, it would help us out and would be appreciated. Let us know your thoughts on Xbox's approach. Let us know your thoughts on Marathon. Where do you think that's going to end up? Other than that, if you could share the podcast with a friend, that would also be appreciated. And we will talk to you next week.